Nice.
Oh,
Love it. Love it. Can I propose an outtake that is just the same exact scene but replace next issue podcast with the couple in Hawaii?
oh. All right. Well, look, listen. I just wanted to. If the Oscars are gonna honor Zack Snyder, I wanted to as well.
You honor Zack Snyder every episode.
That is true. He's holding it up again.
The man's gonna have one fan at least. Like, come on.
It's his backup. He has one ready to play and one ready to show.
I just think. Look, the Oscars put something on the internet, and they know they shouldn't have because they knew they fucked up. They fucked up twice, right? So,
What's your favorite version of Will Smith slapping Chris Rock, though?
Boy,
because I've seen one where Spider-Man swings in and saves Chris Rock, and that's hilarious.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
That's pretty amazing. I like that.
I actually, so I will address this for a moment, but I watched it live, and the live reaction of like nobody knowing what the fuck was happening, was so weird. Like, because you're seeing it and you're like, wait, did he just hit him?
Yeah,
is this a bit? Like, what's because then the audio mutes out of the broadcast, like it, like the audio goes away. I know some other countries they didn't censor anything, like I think Australia and Japan, like you could hear everything, but yeah, it was crazy. Like, and then what he's yelling, and then the internet starts going like, did that just happen? Was this a bit? Is this for real? What did he say? And then they say like, oh, then they're like, oh, well, Chris Rock said this, and then it was like, oh shit, well, that's still no reason to hit him. But then everyone's like, well, but Jada, this and that, and then they bring up her condition. So like, like everyone was making up their mind live as things were going on. And the thing I don't understand is why people felt like they had to pick a side. Two people can be wrong in a situation.
Yes.
You can absolutely not have an opinion on things at times.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're out there, you don't know what's going on.
I completely, I love that you said that, Daniel, because I think they were both wrong in the moment. Mm-hmm. And in the aftermath, I think only Chris Rock has handled himself well. So, but yeah, still.
It's like nobody's ever heard of Don Rickles. Like, there, and when you're a celebrity and you're famous, you're a target because, even with the disease, you're a target.
Well, not even that. I didn't even know she had the disease. And two, how many years of this freaking award ceremony have people been making fun of people and nobody's ever gone up to smack somebody? I mean,
yeah, exactly. Ricky Gervais is supposedly the worst. He's like hardcore.
And all I hate to say, and I really hate saying this, and this is nothing knock against Jada, but all his comment was G.I. Jane 2. I can't wait to see it. It's like he could have said something so much more worse.
Yeah,
it's still a dumb bad joke though.
Yeah, I know, but the 20-year-old reference.
But that's the Academy Awards. The Academy Awards are a bad joke. The awards are a piece of garbage these days. So that's why it's. If you're going to the Academy Awards, you might as well get said, hey, I'm probably going to be made fun of. It happens. I've been watching since the 80s, so it's not like it's something new.
Yeah, but as I like to focus on the positive, we got Army of the Dead as the people's fan favorite movie, which is the only reason you guys know why that movie won, right?
Zack Snyder voted.
They specifically did not allow Zack Snyder's Justice League to be a contender for the award. So Army of the Dead winning is Zack Snyder's Justice League winning by proxy.
Well, but they still gave an award for that one, like special effect moment.
Yeah, the fan moment or whatever. Which some of them were weird. There was one for a movie that I've never heard of that. Like the event, although I don't know how far they went back to get the Avengers in there. Avengers Assemble is cool. I don't know if that's my fan favorite movie even from that movie. I think I like Cap catching the hammer better.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
But But or the the Spider-Man swinging around.
Yeah.
That was also very cool. But then there were two other ones that were weird. For some reason, Prime really put out a machine for their Cinderella reboot that they made, that they got it nominated or somehow got it in the running.
There was a Cinderella reboot?
Yeah, I don't know. I've never seen it. So anyways, the Oscars are dumb and lame, but I am happy for all the people that won. They deserve a lot of good stuff. Like Coda, I still need to watch that, but cool stuff.
Same here.
But, everyone's really happy for that.
I'm not saying the films don't deserve the awards, but it's just that exact award ceremony hasn't meant jack, at least in my opinion, in a long time.
It's just been a bad show too.
They need to just move it to YouTube or Twitch or something, and just try to modernize this ceremony.
Yeah,
I don't know. I feel
they're old people, man. There's no way they're gonna try to adjust for a new audience that doesn't give a shit.
It's so dumb. Nobody watches.
Well, hell, I mean, was it like 3 years ago that there was the whole push to get more diversity on the board? I mean, it's it's a very outdated institution.
The hashtag back then was Oscars so white, and then Michael Che made the best joke this year because he said hashtag Oscars too black.
Oh boy.
Love it.
Michael Che continually.
He's good. I like what's the segment called? An SNL
news.
Oh, the weekend update.
News update. Weekend update. There you go. Sorry. So anyways, we're back. Today we'll be, our main topic is going to be going into Moon Knight episode 1.
I'm ready.
So we'll go full spoilers into that, but we'll give you a heads up before spoilers. Before that, we got a bunch of stuff to catch up on. I am looking forward to hearing from Colin one specific thing that's on his notes. So I don't know. Do we want to start? Kyle, do you want to start? Because I want to ask you about.
I'm still trying to remember what I read this week. So
okay. Well, I just want to ask you about some Amazing Spider-Man 93 because the internet had a thing about it. But we'll get into it. So Clay, we'll let you go first then.
Okay. I've still been reading that Guardians Omnibus. I'm like halfway through. Plus, it's got like 4 other stories in it. So there's like a Thanos a limited series. So I'm just loving it. I really can't believe that this book hasn't gotten more love. I mean, I know it's kind of the basis of the movie in the sense of the first time this Guardian team has gotten together, but there's some great art and pages by guys I'd never seen before in here. So Annette and Lanning, Andy, I can't remember. Andy Lanning and Dan Abnett. This was, I think, one of their last.
Wow.
Together.
Cool.
Let's see here. What else? I also got a preview copy of The Secret of Superhuman Strength by Allison Bechdel.
Yeah. I've been wanting to read that. How is it?
Oh yeah, your background's going on. Here, I'll find the picture.
It is. It's really good. It's. I would say it's a good Gen X book because she is 5 years removed from being a Gen Xer, so she's a baby boomer, but doesn't like to admit it. She just sees their entire generation just as terrible as we see it, and so what's interesting is she goes through this book as she went through fad diets, even as a kid, because she grew up and saw, oh my God, what was his name? Lelane, the old guy that used to work out and swim.
Oh, yeah. Jack LaLanne, yeah.
Jack LaLanne, yeah. It was one of the early influences. The Bullet, yes.
The Bullet.
From Arrested Development, yes. And it's interesting because she goes through pieces of it as if, this was the exercise she started to learn. She started to see when TV came into her house, because it's a little pre-Gen X, like when JFK was assassinated, they didn't even have a TV until then. And that's when they bought a TV and TV started to just be on. And she goes through the different times of media that TV just is on. And then, of course, 24-hour news. But then she also ties it into poetry and literature, Jack Kerouac, and exercise. So if you can wrap those together,
I love it.
I think you guys saw I was scrolling through the preview. You can see on like Google and Amazon and stuff. So cool.
It is definitely a different tone than Funhouse. So,
I was about to ask. So yeah,
this is a much older, and the perspective she takes of her childhood is less focused on like the problems her parents were experiencing. She'll mention it every now and again, but she really is focusing on like what made her try to want to improve herself physically, and then she also looks at it mentally. And she goes to people who inspired her, and then the people who inspired them.
Oh, wow.
It's a really neat deep dive. I'm only halfway through it, but I absolutely love it, and I'll recommend it for Comic Book Club.
Fantastic. Good. Because I've been wanting to read it because I love Bechdel and I love Fun Home. I haven't read the other one about her mom. That came out afterwards, but anyway.
Somehow this ended up
awesome.
in Shelby's hands from Half Price Books, and she's like, "Do you want to read it?" And I'm like, "Heck yeah!" And I just sat down and just started whipping through it. I've been cataloging comics, so I've been sitting on books, piles of comics everywhere, and it's like, I just don't want to read any of them. And then I get this like slice of life book that's like consume and just start going through it. It's just really good.
That is awesome.
Shelby had never seen Candyman. We checked that out last night. Shudder's got a copy of the original Candyman. Still holds up. Still wild as hell. Still need to see Tony Todd with bees all over him.
I watched it. What was it, last year? I think when the other one came out on VOD.
Yeah.
Just to really get it, and I enjoyed it. But it's still pretty fucking scary. I'll say that.
Yeah, you got the great Virginia Madsen in it, and I don't know, man. I just enjoyed the tone of it. I'd forgotten how well it was done back then, but warning, if anyone wants to jump into it, there is a very dark scene with the death of a dog, and it's beheaded, and the death of an infant. So it's pretty extreme in some of the horror cases. Now I need to go watch the new one.
Yeah, I think it carries a lot of the same themes.
Yeah.
Definitely more contemporary take on some of that stuff. The visuals are really cool in the new one. I'll be looking forward to hearing what you think, Clay, when you watch it.
Yeah, we're deciding if we're going to go ahead and hit the other Candyman 2 and 3, but I always remember them just like less fondly. So,
and I know the new one is definitely only following after the first one.
Oh, okay. Well, then
it doesn't
skip it altogether.
Any of the other stuff. So maybe watch the new one and then go back and watch the other one. I don't know.
Okay. Well, while I've been cataloging comics and stuff, I've just been marathoning the Guardians cartoon on Disney Plus, and it is a blast. I mean, the first season is like almost 30 episodes. They have a lot of shorts, but I think it's like 30 episodes in the first season, 27 in the second season. Oh, you looking at my
Look at Clay's stuff. You know what I love is that your comic. Don't ever add any more comics.
Why?
Just leave him at 6666.
Oh, is that where I stop?
Just stop buying comics now, or if you get a new one, get rid of one.
Dude, what I've been doing is taking boxes and because I have a lot of like the custom boxes from stores, and recataloging and putting them in specific boxes so I know exactly where they are. And if I have boxes, I've been taking and putting art and stickers all over it so I know what that box is and then go through it.
It feels like I'm going through your medicine cabinet.
Feel free to browse because that is trades, that is individual issues, but that is not my entire collection yet. That's why I'm still cataloging stuff. There was one point I had everything cataloged, and then I was buying stuff and not cataloging it, so it just sat and started to pile up. And so now I'm trying to get them all organized in this way. If I scan them and I see they are already in my inventory, I just make sure I move them to the right box unlabeled. So
cool. Yeah, well, I mean, Clay, if you want to tweet out the link to our stuff, people can see your stuff.
Oh, I will. But yeah, I have a profile on CLZ Collectors. That was that first page that you pulled up. Yep. So I've got comics, I've got movies, and that also breaks down into my steel books and video games. But their music one I don't like, and I use Discog for vinyl stuff. I think Kyle recommended Discog.
Yeah, that's what I use.
Yeah. So it's just nicer, and they like alert you to stuff that's out there if you want to buy. There's no subscription; you just pay for it one time. CLZ used to be like that. Yeah, here's my vinyl collection. It's not that many.
Well, there's 4 pages though. I mean, 97
yeah.
pages.
But yeah, there you'll find some. I'm trying to make sure I have everything there. That's another one I may have to go through and make sure that I've got everything accounted for.
But let's see what you want.
Yeah, there's my want list. It's all comic book art cover.
Cool.
Yeah, I think there's some Dennis Cowan's. Yeah, there is an Iron Fist that exists. I believe that's an import because I've never seen that one.
Everyone's favorite Finn Jones.
Nobody's favorite.
Don't mind me. I'm just going to browse the internet now.
See, I mean, it's. I want to say CLZ is good. It is a great app. You could use the barcode, scan in a comic.
Yeah, that's so good.
Tell you if you've already had the barcode scanner. You really have to like hold in position for a long time to make sure it scans. Sometimes the code or the barcode is attached to, like DC for a while did it really well. If you had a collection, you could just scan the code and it was like either hardback or trade. Period. You could check one and add it to your collection and go on. Sometimes, like when you add the first issue of something, there are 30 some odd variant covers, and you got to scroll through every fucking one to find. Such a pain in the ass. And CLZ took away, like I had bought mine through a Humble Bundle. I bought like the CLZ group. Well, now you have to have a subscription to it. And that's, do you not, John?
Well, so, all right, yeah. So I've been using only the book collector one for like a decade. And I feel like at a certain point, so they have 2 products, right? You've got the downloadable software, which I think is just like a one-time fee, right?
Yeah.
But then they have the purely online one. And the online one is a subscription model. Like they actually, like I randomly got an email maybe, I don't know, 3 years ago from them saying, hey, we noticed that you've been using the desktop software for years and years and years, but we don't think you're really like using it to its full potential. Do you just want to switch to the online one? It's like $2.50 a month, like $2 and 50 cents. And I was like, yeah, sure. Why not? So I just like switched over to that. Now to use the apps,
you have to pay
on your device. I think originally was just a one-time fee, and now it's a subscription model. So,
I wanted to use. I think I also paid like a one-time $20 fee or something for the app.
Right. To me, they're not updating the database. You are. So like I'll scan in stuff and it'll be like, oh, we don't have this book. And then you add everything yourself, but you're paying to add. And that kind of pisses me off.
Yeah, that was a cease and desist they got from Amazon, because I'd say like maybe 6 years ago, they used to pull in data from Amazon, and Amazon slapped their wrist, and so they had to take it out as a feature. So I think that's when they built we're going to crowdsource the data kind of thing. So
I will say usually by the time I'm scanning it, like all the new stuff's already there, because I'm guessing other people already put it in a long time ago. But yeah, I like it. I mean, it's a cool way to catalog your stuff.
Well, to just scan in stuff now, you have to pay the monthly or annual fee. And that just bums me out that, oh, well, I'm scanning it and I'm adding it myself and I'm paying you to do it. That seems like bullshit. But
I get that.
But it's a good app. It's a decent app. And if you scroll through like my comic collection, you should even see like my autographed books are all tagged. That was one thing I put on there. And I tried to take pictures so that they would all be in there and included. I need
to go add pictures to the stuff that doesn't have pictures.
Shelby's about to leave for work, so I'm gonna take a break. But you guys, I got Paramount Plus for 7 days. I've watched 2 things. You guys tell me what I'm missing, and I'll be right back.
Right.
Oh man,
Josh, you want to hit us with some of your stuff?
From my read list?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm a real human comic boy now. I have a physical pull list because I gave up on Comixology, and this past week was the first time I ever went and got stuff. So this is what I read. This week I read yeah, I know. I did. I walked in with a flourish. I raised my fist. I said I fisted as hard as I could.
Actually, go back to the video just 1 second.
Okay, hold on.
I just want to see something real quick. Okay, I wasn't sure. I thought he was wearing the same T-shirt.
Oh yeah.
I definitely.
That wouldn't surprise me.
I usually ask Josh to keep the same shirt on, but he keeps changing it. So
let's see. So I read. This was just a random one, and I went into it thinking surely they're going to have issue 1 on the shelf, and they didn't.
Shirley, don't call me Shirley.
Yeah, don't call me Shirley. Panther #2 from Dynamite. Wow. Yeah, I really just wanted this cover because it's a really nice cover with some ancient Egyptian style art. This is written by Thomas. I'm going to say this wrong. Thomas Snigoski and Janine Atkinson. The artist is Igor Lima, and I really like the art in this actually. And then that cover is by Giuseppe Mattioni. Again, I have no idea what's going on in this book. It's an interesting concept, which is that basically the Egyptian deities are still alive in the modern world. And what seems to be sort of like a Lovecraftian-esque elder god is trying to destroy them. And it's doing it by picking off one of the Egyptian deities who gave her wrath to Panther, and that allows Panther to turn into a panther.
I just realized you just started from issue 2, and I kind of hate you.
Yeah. What? Why?
What do you mean? What? Did you not read issue 1?
I did. I went to the store thinking they're going to have issue 1 on the shelf. They did not. I was actually reading later that apparently issue 1 was super popular and sold out, and then issue 2 the sales plummeted. So I don't know if maybe issue 1 isn't that compelling. Issue 2 was fine. I enjoyed it, but
issue 2 is always
in the 80s. This is in the 80s, Josh. You can't just pick up a comic and start reading.
That's where my mind's at. I'm like, I want to be able to walk in and grab a comic and read it.
I'm with Josh. Pick up what you ever
Josh
too. It's good.
So I read Panther. Of course, I had to get issue 2 of Excellent. I really like where this is going. It's pretty dark. I mean, this series always has been, but it's
there's always death. So
there's always death. But what I really dig about this is again the way they're kind of updating it for our kind of contemporary, world of social media and influencers and so on. I find it fascinating that Milligan and Aldred can just kind of hop in and just kind of pick up where they left off, but still make it relevant to our time.
Yeah.
Props to them. I'm hoping Daniel and everyone can provide me with honors for picking up issue 1 of Batman Beyond the White Knight.
Oh man.
Yeah, there you go. It was good. Again, I have no idea what's happening here. I think I realized on page 3 that, oh shit, there's how many series before this? Like, I saw issue 1 and thought, oh, well, this just is a new thing. And then I think I have no concept what's happening. But it's still enjoyable.
They give you a little bit of context in some of the dialogue.
They do. They do. Yeah.
So it's not.
Yeah. And then let's see. And I'm just gonna slag on Marvel here for a moment. The cover price for this book is $4.99. All right, so it is $1 more than a standard Marvel book. The cover is nice cardstock, and I just want to point out, you can kind of see it in the light here.
Yeah.
Do you see the difference in the texture on the cover between the background and then Terry in the front?
Yep.
Like, it's like premium printing quality, and Marvel's just like, here's some
our comics are now
cheap wrapping paper. Yeah, I mean,
if you don't like it, you can wipe with it.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, this cover feels the same as the interior paper. It just it pisses me off. Anyway, and then finally, I picked up the one-shot Return of Astro City to Image.
Oh, wow.
That was then. Had to get the Alex Ross cover. This was great in the sense that it's the same basic team. I think the letterer is different, and the editor, but it's the same basic team. And it reminded me that I want to go back and kind of reread this from the start just to kind of get the context of things. But some of the art is just amazing. Like this sequence here, it all feels very psychedelic, and that's intentional because this is set in 1969.
I like the color. Like the color scheme is pretty wild.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. I really like it. I'm excited that Astro City's coming back.
And Alien took Clay. Clay's dead.
Clay. Damn it, Rocket. But anyway, so that's what I read this week, and I actually have a pull list for next week that we'll share out later because I'm getting real physical comics. What in God's name I'm going to do with these, I don't know.
Oh man, I'm so proud of you.
They grow up so fast. So,
oh man, cool.
And then the only other thing is we finished watching, and I can't remember if we talked about this last week or not. We finished watching Our Flags Mean Death.
Yep.
Oh, I heard that was supposed to be pretty good.
It's incredible. It is so great. Go in, if you can, go into it with no expectations.
That's what I've been told.
Yeah, and don't read anything about it, and just go in and just tell yourself, I've got to get to episode 4. It is a bit of a slow start, but once you get to episode 4, it really picks up, and it's just wonderful.
So
from that point on,
I heard from, I don't know, somewhere on the internet, a podcast, somebody talking about it. If you ever played Assassin's Creed Black Flag, I think it's called. Is that the pirate one?
Yeah.
The character you meet in that game is Reed Darby's character in the show.
Steve Bonnet? Oh, that's interesting.
The same pirate. So I think somebody watched the show and then they're like, "Oh, I want more pirate stuff." They went to play. I forgot where I heard this from. Like, I don't know, somebody that I talked to throughout the week. And they're like, yeah, and I wanted more pirate stuff, so I went to play Assassin's Creed Black Flag. And little did they know that they're like, oh, wait, this is the same dude that I just watched the show on. So yeah, so if you want more pirate stuff, maybe go play Black Flag. I don't know if it's
that sounds great.
I think all the Assassin's Creed games, for the most part, are pretty okay. From what I've heard.
Yeah, the only thing I recall about that one was people are like, wait, hang on, isn't the whole thing about Assassin's Creed you're climbing up and like, jumping around stuff, and you're on a boat, so like, how do you do, like, is it just leaping out into open water? Like, what happens?
It's just from the same sail, from the top of the same sail, you keep just jumping off.
Yeah, exactly.
Where'd he go? Oh, there he goes.
Oh, there he is. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's finish off Clay stuff, and then we'll move on to Kyle. Clay, what? I mean, I feel like I kind of know. I think I know one thing you watched because I know
I need
you.
to bring up,
and I think I saw you tweeting about it. But tell us.
Florida Bama Shore.
That's
trash,
not what I thought it was.
The trash show on from MTV that's like a spinoff of Jersey Shore with rednecks. I don't know why. I just love to watch people get drunk and beat the shit out of each other and be stupid. It's like light TV you can put on in the background and just do nothing while it's on. But then I watched Jackass Forever because that was really the main reason I got Paramount Plus, and it's my recommendation this week. I mean, I could get into it, but I laughed for the entire film. But that's my kind of humor. I like those guys just doing shit to each other and messing each other up. And there is a stunt that they did in the original Jackass with a metal cup one of the guys wears while they have a female softball pitcher throw softballs at him, and it dented the metal cup he was wearing over his stuff.
Oh,
and
God.
I was just like, how could a softball be thrown that hard to dent it? Plus, why would you stand in front of it?
Jesus Christ.
Harry can't believe it.
But it was a lot of fun. I just enjoy that because it's just bit after bit after bit with very little setup, and those guys are like my age still doing this shit, and it's just funny to see.
Hey, Johnny Knoxville was a big part of the build up to the Royal Rumble.
So Rex.
Oh, really?
Oh, sorry.
He's gonna match him up with Sami Zayn and Mania Sunday.
What are you gonna say, Josh?
Y'all have to find a way to get me into wrestling.
This weekend, watch WrestleMania. It's on Peacock.
Yeah, either. So
I could just watch a WrestleMania and understand everything that's going on.
Just get Peacock because you'll get access to the WWE universe or their streaming platform, and you have access to almost everything from WCW, WWE, NXT, ECW, Memphis Championship Wrestling, the whole backlog, and you can watch whatever you want to watch.
Or
you're giving me the alphabet to watch.
If you don't want to overdose on wrestling, WWE is pretty good at putting together like these promo packages of like, hey, here's the story, and we're gonna tell you 10 times throughout the show. Here's the story leading up to all this. So even if you go in like not knowing anything about who these people are, they'll tell you 10 times before the match actually starts.
Yeah, see, I tried to watch a WrestleMania. I was over at Rob Irvin's house.
Okay, you told me that, yeah.
Yeah, with all his friends are into wrestling. They do the pay-per-view. They were like all hyped. And so I was like, okay, so explain to me some things. And like one guy got so animated, he was about to fight someone else about the wrestler they were arguing about. I mean, it was like watching just a Marvel DC fan get violent. I mean, he was so animated about this wrestler, and another guy was like, well, you know, that's his character. And he goes, yeah, but in real life, he abused his wife. He just started talking about his personal shit. And he goes, I fucking hate that guy. I fucking hate, like, he just got rageful. And I was like, okay, well, I'm out, guys. This has been fun.
Yeah, don't watch wrestling with other people.
No, unless you know the people, unless you know them.
Yeah.
We'll probably watch it with, me and Kyle won't get into it unless he starts talking shit about Cody. Anyways, I'm just kidding.
No,
it
was actually a good match. It was actually a good match.
You know, there was a commercial, and I get tempted every now and again to go, hey, I'd kind of like to see what that's about. That looks fun. But then you get into it, and it's like reading an X-Men book. You just can't jump in.
It's not that convoluted. It's more like the Marvel Universe where they reboot it every fucking 5 minutes. There's no consistency history for a character. In between every
AEW?
Yeah. AEW is the new, like, okay, so Tony Khan is the owner of, like, I want to say a sports team, but he joined a whole bunch of the indie wrestlers. They never were able to get into WWE, and one former WWE wrestler to make their own company because there was no place for any of the indie market people to go. It's either WWE or that's it. And WWE is still under the stranglehold of Vince McMahon. So anybody, even if you're a good indie wrestler and you get brought in, half the times you'll get a push for all about 5 seconds, and then you're dropped down for the bigger bodybuilding looking characters. And then Brock Lesnar. So, AEW is the sister company that's getting a lot of fandom now, and it gives a chance for the actual, not just indie wrestlers to perform, but they have a lot more creative control over the characters that they play.
So it's like a farm team, kind of. Like in baseball, where you could get called up to the big leagues, or is this just...
No. AEW is the big league. It's the alternative to it's the alternative to Disney. Disney is basically, WWE is Disney. They're the all-become that try to own everything in the world of wrestling. So AEW is the alternative to where basically, it's a big company, you get a chance to star, but you have creative control over what you own. If that makes sense. So Disney doesn't own it. So.
Okay. So Disney owns WWE?
No. I'm just comparing them as a company. Like
they own everything now.
No. WWE is partnered with Paramount right now. So
okay, then why is it on Peacock?
Or I thought it's in Peacock, Paramount,
NBC, Comcast, NBC.
Comcast. Okay, my bad. Partner with Comcast. My bad.
Or Universal, whatever the fuck the company is calling itself now.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah.
Anyways, but yeah, no.
Anyway, but I still haven't heard recommendations from Paramount.
All Star Trek. You need Star Trek.
Yeah, if you like the Scream movies, they're all on there.
Okay.
To watch the new one, I don't know if you want to watch. I don't know if you care about watching the new one.
See, I've not heard a good thing about the new one.
Really? I thought people. I don't know. From what I heard, people liked it, but I haven't. But I've only watched the first one, so I don't know. Okay. I do want to watch it. I'm watching Halo. I like Halo, and I was never like a big Halo player.
And I think that's why you liked it, because I've heard that they haven't even referenced the game for the TV show, and a lot of gamers are upset.
Huh? Well, I played the games. The whole first sequence is like you're in a multiplayer match. I don't know why people are
all the advertisements show Master Sergeant in the fucking uniform before he jumps out of the plane. Like, how more of the game do you want?
Well, I've heard that he takes his mask off, and I've heard.
Well, it's a TV show. You need to engage with the characters.
There has to be a story. I don't want to. Look, if I want to watch a first-person selection fighting, I'm going to go on YouTube and watch somebody live stream them playing Halo. I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I meant the mythology and stuff that's associated with it. So I'm assuming that they're some sort of game Bible that they read from, or even like books and comics of.
No,
because if you're not referencing the game to write a show, then what are you reading?
Yeah, I don't know. That's like I said, I never played the story, so I guess in that regard,
you're fighting aliens on different planets. What else do you want? It's like the same thing of fucking Starship Troopers. It's like there's no real Bible. The game is Halo. You are fighting aliens for resources on different planets. You wear a certain
Starship Troopers is based on a book, though.
Yeah, but
it has a whole political ideology that it's preaching in the show.
Okay, valid point there. But I'm just saying, but with the Halo, it's like. You're these military guys in special suits of armor who are fighting aliens. There's no Bible there unless I might check. There might be a story for this thing, but it's like you're fighting aliens. Outside of that, you build upon that to create a story.
But you have to build the world. You have to build the core. You have to build the mythology of both. You have to, who are you playing? Who are the characters you're playing with? The NPCs have to have it. If you're going to design that, you got to have a Bible of some epic proportion to at least get started.
I don't think there is one. Outside the different games, there's 4 Halos out there. I don't think there really was anything. I don't think there were storybooks or anything. It was just you might have your player guide that might have a slight history and built into it, but I don't remember there being anything big on Halo.
Yeah, it's probably. Stuff like that when shows or games write their own Bibles, they usually don't publish them. James Gunn said that he wrote a 13-page description of just what Guardians would look like. Like, not even talking about the characters he was going to have. He was just talking about colors and style.
Yeah, but there already was a Bible for that.
There's a 13-page description of Scrappy Doo.
Scrappy Doo.
Yeah, but we knew who the characters were. There's not really. Honestly, I don't need him to describe. I knew who Drax, Gamora, Star Lord.
You did, but the average viewer walking in wouldn't know who that is. And plus, Drax has been so many different things. This is what Josh and I got into, because Josh got to read about Werewolf by Night, and he was like, reading the first appearance of Moon Knight and then watching the TV show are so far apart in what that character is. And, and just how characters are retconned. Because I got a first appearance of Star-Lord recently but it's the comic book version, not the one that appeared in a magazine. You know, characters just get retconned until they get to a point where they're, you know,
the
in
history
a series and they have one person kind of running the show.
Well, even Rocket's been retconned a couple times from what his first appearance was, you know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Just reading him in 2008, he's different than he is now.
Yeah, but at least with Drax, they've acknowledged in the comic books of how he's been retconned. Like his body metamorphoses into different things. But again, in the comic books, he still comes back to being that jazz player who was killed by Thanos.
The jazz player. Like in Guardians 3, I want to see Drax just play the sax. And by every means, I could see it happening just with the idea that now Quill has a Zune, and he probably has 80s music on it, and you always had a random saxophone player showing up.
It can have over 200 songs.
300.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Other than that, on Paramount, I would say if you want, like, maybe watch something from CBS, like that show Evil seems to be pretty popular.
Evil. The guy with it's got Mike Coulter from Luke Cage.
Mike Coulter from Luke Cage. So I don't know. They keep making it. CBS keeps putting out those shows, so maybe there's something good there.
I may try Picard, but man, I tried to watch Discovery, and I know they're 4 seasons in already, and just the movie. I didn't.
You got to get again. It's like a lot of the end of Star Trek series. You got to get past that first part because it gets really good.
It's like that. It's like
I hate shows you have to get past the first part.
No, yeah, Clay.
That's how all Star Trek works.
It's like the frog in the frog in the boiling water. You just gotta let it take you.
I mean, that's our official stance on Star Trek now.
That's
go back and watch the first season of TNG. It is hard to get through some of those episodes.
It is because I quit watching. I was like, I'm going to do a rewatch of this. I got like 5 episodes in and just did not care.
I bypass that stuff. I go to like season 3. That's where it started getting better. Like even DS9. I was able to go back and stomach more of the first season after that. But like even Voyager. But yeah, it's just you got to get past that first stuff at the very first. All Star Trek seasons kind of get really.
There we go. We got more recommendations. Hey, Leonard Kim.
Nice.
Why Women Kill, underrated show on Paramount Plus. Check it out, Clay. Let us know.
Okay, I'm on it. I don't know why I think that appears on another station I subscribe to.
I'll tell you this.
I've seen that title.
Leonard Kim only watches good TV. I'll tell you that.
All right.
Did anyone recommend like the really stupid shit on Paramount Plus? Like if you haven't watched the South Park COVID specials, go watch those.
Yeah.
Which is confusing because those were the new episodes until HBO got the rights to the new season. So it's like you have to go to like 3 different places to watch new South Park. But the COVID specials are great. You do have to watch them all though. So watch last year's and this year's is a 2-parter.
Okay. I've sseen last year's on HBO.
Okay. All right. And then the Reno 911 movie is really stupid, but if you just want if you just want 80 minutes of just dumb shit, like go watch the Reno 911. They also have the whole old series on there, which is fun.
Yeah.
And then I'll give you if you want old stuff, go watch Invader Zim is on there.
Okay.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of Nickelodeon stuff.
Yep. And Star Trek the animated series is on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That had been on Netflix, and I had seen it and watched it on there.
Yep. Yeah. So anyway, just some dumb stuff.
All right, Discovery and Picard.
He says Discovery and Picard. Thank you.
But you know what? I feel like Star Trek fans are fans and love every show. I rarely find a fan who goes, you know what I really hate is this.
I'll say this, my buddy Omar, he's my Star Trek dude, and he told me like don't even bother with the latest season of what was it? Something just got a season 4.
Discovery.
Is it Discovery?
He's like, I didn't like that. Don't. So they're critical. They're just as critical.
I have a hard time going back and watching the original series. I almost can't stomach any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Is it like Doctor Who to you? Like early Doctor Who? Just
no. Like I
shut your mouth.
It's just hard.
Yeah. So if you're watching this, leave comments, leave recommendations for Clay in the chat or in the comment section.
No, I am looking for. No, this is one I'm looking for too. The new Strange New Worlds. I've been seeing the trailers for all the characters on Strange New World, and that looks amazing.
And
it just looks like Paramount's gone batshit Star Trek crazy. They have cartoons, they have shows.
What's wrong with that?
The tone.
No. I'm sorry. What's wrong with that?
The tone.
Look, don't make me go all Daniel on you. Don't. I'm not like I like you. Daniel's got. Don't.
Right.
I don't know, but to me, if it's going to be Star Trek, it should be a smart show. I do appreciate the fact that they have done an animated comedy show.
Yeah, you need that. You need something that's kind of stupid.
Yeah, I mean, on some level, I don't want to invest a lot of time in a show that just kind of peters out at the end too.
Set the man watching Floribama Shore.
Zero investment. You know what I know? Nothing from that show. I turn it on. Look, funny drunk people while I'm doing other stuff. But like, if I'm going to watch Star Trek, I'm going to watch Star Trek.
Zero investment.
I mean, watching Floribama Shore is equal to watching the J.J. Abrams Star Trek shows, films, because they don't have that much that you go, oh, that was good. Yeah. Oh, remember Idris Elba was in that? Yeah, they covered him up with makeup. Okay. Remember, there's just not that much in those films that are.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but the J.J. Abrams Star Trek films are the worst fucking Star Trek that has ever been made.
When you put the video up again, I disagree with you, but Beyond is one of my top 3 favorite Star Trek films.
You mean Lens Flare the movies?
Lens flare.
I'll give you that. There are lens flare, but I mean, damn.
Hey, let's get nuts, man. I could shit on Star Trek all day and just say,
love it.
My favorite Star Trek, and people are going to go, this is what's wrong with him. I love Enterprise. I love the. No,
that's my favorite. I told you that's my favorite Star Trek series ever.
But in the end, that shit petered out, and I was really fucking mad.
Hold on,
it petered out right on time.
No, that got good until the very last episode because they didn't get renewed, and that last episode was a bullshit because it's been long enough. They killed Trip in such a fucking bullshit way. That last until then, I like that 2-parter when they're in the mirror universe. I thought that was phenomenal. I'm like everything. All season 4 were like these short story 2-parters that really made when they introduced the Romulans and entered the formation of the fucking Federation. It was all good in that last episode because we're going to renew you, and it's Riker on the fucking holodeck.
Yeah, that fucking pissed me off.
It pissed everybody off.
I really loved Enterprise. First 2 seasons were very Star Trek. Second seasons turned into very soap opera Star Trek, but kept the same tone.
Yeah, and then 3 became just this whole long story arc that was like they made it like a continuous 22-episode story arc through the whole season.
And you had to watch each episode back to back.
All right.
That GIF is also me at 3 a.m. So
I didn't think I needed to do this, but I haven't done it in a while. So let's.
Really, I never. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
Back to Star Trek.
Go ahead, Kyle.
Yeah,
we are. We're now moving on to Kyle, or we'll be here all day.
All right. So I read Silver Surfer Rebirth #3, which I'm still enjoying because it's got Ron and Lim back in the driver's seat of the art. Shows Thanos basically having to take on Nebula, and again, this is how retcon Marvel does. Nebula started off as his granddaughter. Now it's his daughter, and it's just like. All right, and then Silver Surfer having to take on Galactus from destroying some worlds in different realities. Come to find out at the end that the Silver Surfer is going to be facing different versions of himself, and then the fact that Jack of Hearts is there with the reality gem, and you find out that basically his boss is Tyrant, which is one of Galactus's old heralds that that ended up killing Nova, if I'm not mistaken, in the original series. Yeah.
Nova.
So do they undo all the Donny Cates Silver Surfer Black stuff?
This takes place
before. It takes place way before.
This takes place back when those series were going on.
Well, no.
Oh, okay.
You gotta remember the first issue had Genus Vell when he still had blonde hair. So this is before he ever became like he gathered like he became all galactic and cool looking. So this is early like late 90s.
Marvel's doing a lot of stuff where like they'll just like that Wolverine patch story from last week, or the Venom Lethal Protector. They're just picking up like. They're telling untold stories from the 90s and early aughts or whatever.
Okay, all right.
So they're having their cake and eating it too. Yeah. Sorry, Kyle. Go ahead, Kyle.
Next one, Amazing Spider-Man number 93. Okay, go ahead, Dana. Before I jump in, what were you going to want to know?
Well, no. I just want to know how you feel about it because I feel like out of the podcast, you're the only one that's actually invested in Spider-Man.
It's basically Peter's trying to save Ben. The corporation that Ben's been working for has basically sort of erased his memories, and they're basically telling him, you need to use this device to become the one true Spider-Man, to get your own reality back. And so he basically takes on Peter, and he's about ready to kill Peter, but Peter's able to destroy the device. And Ben realizes, I lost it all. And so basically the building ends up crumbling. And Peter's trying to save Ben, but he basically falls into this vat of ooze, and basically the building crumbles. And in one scene, you hear this boom, and somebody's outside going, "That building just get a bit shorter."
No, big spoilers coming.
There we go. Chasm. That's Ben Reilly. And he comes out of the ooze, and basically you have a new Spider character, which I
kind of dig that look.
Yeah.
Where is very Venom? Anti-Venom.
But it's not like it's not a symbiont. It's something that we don't know yet. We don't exactly know what he's how it's affecting.
I think now this finishes that Beyond arc, right? Where where Ben Reilly was that corporation Spider-Man.
It's done. It's done. Yeah. And Peter, one of the great things is at the very end, Peter's about to leave with he's on it. Just come back from a date with Mary Jane. He's about to leave, and Mary Jane's, I think you should come back. It's like, what do you mean? I think you should move in with me. So they're finally officially going further
getting
with
back together.
Yeah. Well, they were already back together, but they're making the next step.
Not if Mephisto has anything to do with it.
Shut up.
Always Mephisto.
But yeah, I'm looking forward. I'm gonna say this much. Whereas I know the Spider-Man universe has gotten a lot larger with all the different characters, but I'm okay with it because it's not as convoluted. Convoluted as the X-Men universe. So you're able to focus in on the individual characters. You don't have to read Miles Morales' Spider-Man to go on with normal Amazing Spider-Man, or they have Silk number 1. We have we'll have maybe was it Spider-Man 2099. Their own individual books that sometimes tie in together, but their own individual stories. So you don't have to read one to keep up with everything else. That's what I like about it.
I miss one shots and done.
Yeah.
Again, that's what was great about that Astro City book. Also, I'm here to bring you the new phrase, I Mephisto'd as hard as I could. So
all right, we're going to need a GIF.
And my work here is done. There you go. I like that.
I think Spider-Man agrees.
Thanks.
This one's interesting. I read Immortal X-Men number 1. Anybody read this one?
You crazy bastard.
Yeah, I'm curious for someone who really hates the X-Men.
Yeah,
I was curious about this one. The cover kind of caught my attention.
Were you drunk when you bought it? Like, what happened?
Did you find it in a pile of Morbius comics and go, well, this one's worth reading?
So, Immortal, it deals with basically, like in the 1930s, Mora ends up talking to Sinister on this park bench. And she whispers something to him, and he ends up dying. And so she gets taken away by Mystique. So
but isn't that established in Hoxpox?
No, we saw that. We saw that in the trailer we saw a few weeks ago.
Oh yeah, okay, all right. But it refers back to that Hoxpox, her and Charles sitting on the bench, right? Okay.
Yeah, but this one's Sinister, not Charles.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Sorry.
And so basically you have this thing where they're all the members are at the council, and Sinister's planning something. And so basically you have Magneto saying he's stepping down from the council, and so. And basically, and you have this like 2-page thing where Sinister is kind of giving his reaction of how people, his relationship with all the members of the council. And so after that, he steps down. They're all choosing on who to bring up. So they go through all these different members, and they eventually bring in the Black Queen as the new member. He basically manipulates them into voting for her, and so she ends up.
No. Selene goes up to do that, but then Hope steps in and says she needs to say. Because she's one of the 5 that's bringing people back.
Okay.
Yeah, Hope kind of came in and scooped her because Selene, the vampire queen, I think. I don't know. She's like a living vampire X-Men. She was gonna take that seat because that was her plan. But I think Sinister played himself and inadvertently voted for Hope. Yeah, it's very convoluted. This is me reading the issues.
That's about right.
But look, it's so good. Kieran Gillen is amazing. Lucas Wernick's art is just fucking fantastic. And like I said, if you don't want to read all the stuff, you can read Hoxpox, Inferno,
That's still
10 Lives of Wolverine, and
Still too much.
And that's it. And that's it. Inferno's only 4
titles.
4 issues. But Inferno's only 4 issues. 10 Lives of Wolverine is 10 issues. That's 14. That's another trade. That's another Hawks box.
Okay.
It's not that big of an ask. And then this book is so good. Oh, I love it. Go check out my review for the full video.
So,
good.
Oh no, I'm sorry, Cal. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to completely.
I really like that one.
Me too. I was going to completely derail things. So you wrap up.
Oh, okay. Let me see. I read Shadow. This one I like. Shadow War Alpha #1. So yes, this one was okay. So basically, Damien's back with his grandfather and his mom. They're in like one of the shadow thieves things, and basically, Ra's al Ghul says, "I want to turn myself in." So basically, he and Talia turn themselves into the authorities. This gets announced in Gotham. He's about to make a speech. Batman's watching this, and Damien's right behind him, like saying, "I want to reconcile, Father, but first let's keep on the job." And then basically, Ra's is there. I've learned all these things for over 1,000 years. If you'd allow me, I want to help us make the world a better place. Next thing you know, sniper shot right to his head. Deathstroke has just sniped him. So they're trying to stop him. Big old thing happens. Batman's fighting Deathstroke. He throws a grenade down. Damien's trying to get to the grenade so it doesn't destroy the rest of Raish. And then basically, but he only has like 1 second left. Batman jumps in, saves Damien. And the grenade goes off and burns Raish's body. And then now Damien's all pissed at me. And he's like, "Let me go, Father. Next time I come in, you'll see me. I'm either bringing Deathstroke in, dead or alive." Turn to Talia, going back to the Shadow Assassins League, calling in every member of or every Shadow Child they have. So everybody who's ever been a part of the league, outside of Deathstroke, is all there. And so she's like, "We're going to hunt him down. Anybody who's been associated or partnered with Deathstroke or will help him, we're going to take out and kill."
Yeah.
We go to and then we find out later that Deathstroke apparently has this $1 billion company, like a Slade Industries or something. And a couple of the members, and one of them being, what's his freaking name?
Prometheus
is walking with one of the guys, and they're like, "I can't believe he did this. He sold us out." Come out to find later that Deathstroke is still there, training Jericho. And he goes, "Well, what happened?" It's like, "You just killed Ra's al Ghul." And he goes, he shows them footage. "Are you kidding? And this is the original Deathstroke armor, the blue, the orange and blue mask. I haven't worn that armor in decades. How do you think that's me?" Turn to a scene of one of the children of a League of Assassins jumping through the window with all the ninjas. And now we're about to get all-out war between Deathstroke and the League of Assassins. And Batman's going to be intertwined in all this.
Yep, it's really cool. I will say the only downside, and not really for me, but like for regular readers, this is a crossover between Batman, Deathstroke Inc., and Robin, all the 3 books that Joshua Williamson's writing. So if you don't want to go hunt that down, just wait till this is collected. I'm sure it's cool stuff with assassins and, like fuck Batman, and it's really cool. And the art's really cool. And I haven't been reading Deathstroke Inc., so that was the only one that I was like, when did Deathstroke get like a company and all these people to work for him?
Again, we haven't been reading, so it's hard to tell.
Yeah, but that's about it. But it's just I feel like it's gonna be a fun event. Especially when Talia's like, "Fuck everyone, I'm just gonna kill everything now." And then all the assassins, and I don't know, Kyle, there was a lot of old characters that they brought back, but I feel like there's also a bunch of new people that I had never seen.
I'm sure of it.
Yeah. So,
cool. So I just wanted to bring up the Immortal X-Men thing reminded me of Hickman, and then I was also reminded of the fact that in 2 weeks' time, Hickman is releasing a new Moon Knight book, and I wondered how Clay felt about this.
Hickman was still working with Marvel.
I didn't think so either, but it's here. I'll share I've got it up here. Hang on.
That always makes me nervous because he goes so deep and then leaves the book, and it's like
it's the Moon Knight Black, White, and Blood, so it's like an anthology book.
Oh, okay.
It's anthology. Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm on board with that.
It's Hickman with Chris Bocciolo, which I'm super excited about. What has he done recently? Like, I'm kind of hyped.
Oh my god, yeah, he's been
he did Deadpool what he's been on
recently. Oh, did he? Okay.
Deadpool.
Yeah, he's been doing Deadpool.
Yeah, this is really cool. I like it. Oh my god, this looks super cool. Who is this guy?
Yeah. So that's April 14th. But I didn't know it was in anthology books. I was also kind of worried that like,
no, yeah,
it was going to be,
they're equivalent to the black and white book or whatever that DC's doing
of like Batman.
Yeah, or the black, white, and red Harley, like stuff like that. That's just
okay.
So these are cool. The Electro one's really cool. She's got a lot of really fun stories. So
I was just worried he was going to pull a Hoxpox Moon Knight.
Look, in the first issue, you get Jonathan Hickman writing. Mark Guggenheim writes another story. They're covers by Bill Sienkiewicz. So like,
of course.
Like, nice.
We'll be covering this issue one on whenever.
I will definitely add that to my pull list. And
I know Chris Bocciolo was influenced by Bill Sienkiewicz, so this should be interesting to see.
That's fascinating.
Him taking on that book that inspired him.
Yeah,
I did not know that. I'm gonna stop off for a second. If you want to start, and I'll come back and finish when I get back.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, all right.
Sure.
All right. Well, I mean, let me show you guys. Hold on. There we go. Let me show you guys what I picked up first, and then I'll talk about some books.
Oh my gosh, that's what it looks like after I go after missing 3 weeks at the comic shop.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, you're showing me up with my piddly little 4 issues.
Yeah, Shadow War Alpha. I told you that's why I don't share my pull list. There'd be like 20 issues a week.
Damn, nice.
Damn.
Yeah, so the Shadow War Alpha we talked about. Immortal X-Men. Go read it. It's so much fun. And Judgment Day's coming for the X-Men. So Karen Gillan's
Judgment Day, which means they'll just retcon all the shit we've been reading and start over again.
I can't take it.
All this will be like the Ultimate Universe X-Men. It'll just be a story that happened a while back, had some cool moments.
Maybe
which was not the original proposal, right? It was right. We are fundamentally redoing the X-Men, and what happened is gonna. Now I know comics, but still. Sorry, Daniel. Go ahead.
Sorry. There was a Wonder Woman book, Sensational Wonder Woman Special #1.
I saw that.
This is the International Women's Day cover, and then this is a variant for that same book.
I wanted that one. I almost picked that one up.
Yeah, really cool stuff. I just picked this up because of the cover. I'm not really reading Captain Marvel. But nice. I love Peach Momoko's art.
Yeah.
I am reading Sulk. I just haven't read this one. Also, the Ghost Rider #2 with another really dope cover.
That is awesome.
The last issue of Dark Ages, which I'll talk about in a minute because I finally read the whole thing.
Spoiler free. I'm still missing.
And Jock's Batman 1 Dark Knight #2 from Black Label. This book is so good. If you like movies that are like 16 blocks or something like that, that's what this story is. Like Batman has to get from one point to the other.
Right.
It's so freaking good. And then you get Jock art. And then also, I got a new friend.
Nice.
From the Batman movie. Hold on.
Oh wow.
Yeah, the McFarlane.
I have not seen that one. That's nice.
I stopped by GameStop yesterday, and I don't normally buy toys there because I feel like they're never on sale. Like they're always just the regular price.
Yeah.
But I was like, I hadn't seen it in a store, so I'm like, I'm gonna pick it up.
I will say, I was at my local GameStop, and on the clearance shelf they had boxes and boxes of the Funko Deceased blind box.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, if you want to pick that up for cheap, it's there. So
yeah, for sure. But yeah, Dark Ages #1 through 6. That's the Tom Taylor book where the lights go out and there's no electricity in the world. It's really fun. It's another Elseworlds type of thing in that Marvel's doing. It didn't go the way I thought it was going to go for sure. So I look forward to hearing what you think, Clay, once you finally read it. But if you like Tom Taylor, I recommend it. I really enjoyed it.
Tom Taylor, his books are always fun.
Yep. Another book that I picked, I didn't pick it up because it was sold out, but I'm getting it from Titan next week. DC versus Vampire 6. This is the Tinian Rosenberg book with Otto Schmidt on art and Simone de I forget his name. But it's really good. This issue just fucking broke my heart. Like this one.
Wow.
And we're like,
shit. I gotta get it.
Yeah, we're halfway through the story, so We have like reviews for a bunch of stuff on the channel: the Shadow War Alpha, Batman Beyond, the Wonder Woman book, Immortal X-Men. I read a lot of stuff this week, like for reviews, and it was all really good.
I know you were cranking out videos everywhere.
Yeah, the whole Grand Design #1 was just so much fun to go through. Like, I don't even read it like a normal book. I just kind of look through the pages and figure out like what little story or vignette I want to stop and look at.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got it digitally, but I'm gonna buy the collection probably once it's all put together. Another book that I didn't expect to like as much, but I'm glad I got it. Tmnt Annual 2022. This is a book written by Juni Ba, and it's just like a standalone one shot of the turtles, and it's like the perfect turtle story.
Really?
Nice.
Yeah. So the premise is, because of whatever is going on in the series, Splinter sacrificed himself to save the world. So Leo sets up a mission for the turtles to kind of get back in sync and try to move forward. But they deal with a lot. Like, there's some really, really fun moments. So even if you're not reading the Turtles book, I recommend you pick that up. I also read Sonic the Hedgehog 2, the official movie prequel. The Sonic movie is out this week. This is just a story, and I do want to clarify, in my video I addressed Tails as a girl because I saw that there was a voice actress playing Tails. And I'm not up to date with the I'm not showing anything else. I'm not like big on the Sonic lore, so I didn't know that Tails was a boy. Somebody in the comments said, that's cool, but Tails is a boy. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I wasn't sure. So
that's so weird to know the gender of video game characters.
I'm just clearing the air for our viewers, which our subscribers increased a lot because of that one video. So listen, I'll take the feedback. I'll look more into the books. But yeah, that video has like 700 views or something, which is insane. How many people like Sonic?
Huge fan base.
That is an entire phenomenon. Like the entire concept of Sonic lore. I am too old for that. All right, like I'm way too old.
I like the first movie. I thought it was fun.
I've heard it's good. I need to see it. I still need to see that and the Pikachu movie.
I wonder if that one may be on Paramount too. Clay.
Sonic?
Yeah, I watched. So. I watched Detective Pikachu, and
Yeah,
I couldn't tell you what it was about. I mean, that's how much I remember about it.
Does he do detectoring?
It was definitely not a big mystery because of who's doing the voices of what.
Yeah.
But yeah, this Sonic book was like, you get a story about Sonic on what he's been doing in between movies. You get a story about Knuckles, who's going to be voiced by Idris Elba. So like, when I was reading it, his voice was in my head.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know why that makes me so happy, but it does. It's like, I adore Idris Elba, and Idris Elba seems like he is just up for anything.
Yeah.
I just adore it so much.
Yeah.
I see him doing those booking.com commercials. I'm like, do you really need to do those?
Right, exactly.
Well, he can't be DJing as much now because of COVID. So,
DJs?
Yeah, he's a DJ.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, oh, wow. He does a song at the end of Hobbs and Shaw, and during the credits, that's his song.
Okay, well, I mean, obviously, I do not know that because, as you know, I've never seen a single Fast and Furious movie.
He's pretty good.
We're gonna change that this year.
Yeah, there's a story about how Tails. Spoilers for the first movie, at the end credit scene, you see Tails showing up in our dimension or Sonic's dimension. So there's a story about how they got there.
So Tails isn't from Sonic's dimension?
I guess not in the movies, because I'm talking about I read the prequel comic to the movie.
Oh, okay.
And then you get a story with Jim Carrey's Robotnik. So,
did you see he announced his retirement? So Sonic 2 may be his last film.
It's always their last film.
Yeah, it's his last film until he gets a better paycheck. I mean,
he's coming back as a Riddler.
What's his name?
Hannibal
what's the actor's name?
Hopkins.
Yeah, Anthony Hopkins retired after Zorro, the Zorro movie. Remember that? That was in the 90s. So
right. and he won an Oscar last year. So
well, yeah, I don't know. I was hearing rumors that I don't know again that in the next Batman film that Defoe might be looked at to play the Joker.
It's about time.
Dude, I thought there was a cut scene from the Batman that features the Joker. So
yeah, I don't think you actually see him. I don't think you actually see
him. No, there's already an actor for that.
So no, we don't know. Defoe needs to be the Joker.
Well,
he's too damn good as the Green Goblin, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Why can't he play both?
That's true.
I don't know. I don't like my peanut butter and chocolate mixing. Like
it's already been done. It's already been done.
If he's good, he's good. I'd watch it.
If you can have what's his name play Commissioner Gordon and J. Jonah Jameson, you're fine.
Oh yeah, J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons.
Oh, that's right. I always forget he was in Justice League.
Yeah, I agree with Leonard Kim. I think Jim Carrey will eventually come back for a role that he falls in love with, or a script that he loves, or the right amount of money, or both.
Yeah, I mean, he loved that Man in the Moon role so much. There's a documentary about that. So, I mean, there are roles out there I think that if he found, he would do for the right price.
It's going to be Sonic 3.
The Mask 2.
Look, I thought he was great in... Like, he was one of my favorite things in the Sonic movie. Like, no kidding. Like,
I've heard he's really good in it. Like, it's like classic Jim Carrey, which we haven't had in.
Yeah, it gave me like the Mask vibes.
What are you guys talking about? There's also Mr. Popper's Penguins. That was such a great film.
Ew.
I don't know anyone who's seen that.
Well, unfortunately,
I'm a parent. I didn't see it, so
I was curious about that. That was more curiosity. I'm just like, what's the movie with Jim Carrey and 5 penguins about? I'm just curious to see how this goes.
Okay, well, how was it? Was it gritty?
It was a kids' film. That's all it was. I mean, it was a feel good film. It's him far distant from his family. Penguins bring him closer to it. I can't remember if it's his kids or his niece and nephew, and it just turns out with him. Saving the penguins. It was his uncle had saved him, and he.
This is
Ace Ventura, pet detective in the Arctic.
No. It's all set in New York.
Look, I think we can all agree that Jim Carrey's best role ever is as Leap Year Larry from 30 Rock. So
never saw it.
My God!
Cable Guy 2.
Oh, Cable Guy 2. No, seriously, go track it down. There's an episode of 30 Rock that's a leap year episode. And the conceit is that in the 30 Rock universe, leap year is like a big holiday. And Jim Carrey stars in the leap year movie that's basically just like Liar Liar, right?
It's like the Santa Claus. It's like the Santa Claus.
Yes, exactly.
You want to talk about random, and this is a not a knock, but a thing, a praise for rest in peace. But did you guys ever watch not Saving Grace, Jesus, Raising Hope?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
So Raising Hope was done by the same guy who did My Name Is Earl.
Greg.
Greg
Oh,
Daniels.
really? Okay.
And it's sort of set in the same universe. But basically, there's an episode where basically the family is like this really, down on their luck family that is really poor. But the one holiday that they always make sure their son was good at was Arbor Day. So after he gets married, his wife's like, "Why are we celebrating Arbor Day? It's about saving trees, not about getting presents." And so basically, she basically crushes his spirit, so he doesn't celebrate Arbor Day anymore. And so she's visited by the ghost of Arbor Day, who's Luke Perry.
Oh shit!
Oh my God, that's so good.
Luke Perry. That's
it is the
weird
greatest
but awesome
thing.
Casting.
It is the greatest freaking thing.
I want to give props to Leonard for this comment. Yeah,
he
would have been
Jim
amazing.
Carrey would have been an amazing episode of Murderville. I love that show so much.
We're only halfway through it.
I can't believe Marshall Lynch was my favorite episode.
Oh,
but
I didn't care for that one.
What? He's so good. He's just he's having fun, but he's also pretty funny.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's not anything about his performance. I just felt like I feel like him and what's his face didn't quite have a good. I mean, you get the one with Kamal. And
yeah. Oh, that was good.
I laughed the entire time through that because they're so good together.
Yeah. And Kamal's going like the extra mile.
Yeah.
All right, let me finish my stuff and then we'll finish file stuff because otherwise we're never gonna talk about Moon Knight.
What's Moon Knight?
I know it's like almost 11:30.
I have very little to share that is Moon Knight the show versus Moon Knight the comic.
Anyways, yeah, that last thing, there was a Buffy 25th anniversary that I really enjoyed as well. So a lot of licensed properties this week for me. Turtles, Sonic, Buffy. So yeah, get into licensed comics. So I watched the movie by Roland Emmerich that finally came out on VOD called Moonfall. Oh boy, let me tell you, it is so dumb, but it's so like right up my alley. I love it. I love it.
This one.
Yes. Oh my god. My review for this movie was, this movie's crazy bananas. Don't fuck with the moon. Remember, this is a work of fiction. Because I feel like a certain specific type of group of people might feel validated and encouraged by this movie.
Oh boy.
No. Is the moon alive or is it being controlled by some alien presence?
I don't want to spoil the movie for anyone. I'll tell you.
I don't think you will.
Yeah, I'm not going to see it. So
did this movie come about where Emmerich was watching Don't Look Up and then told his assistant, "Hold my beer," and then like went to go make Moonfall? Like what is happening here?
And then the other thing I watched, Morbius, 2022 or 2020.
You are doing God's work, man. I'm telling you.
All right.
The one audience number right here.
It is not 16% Rotten Tomatoes bad.
Really?
I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that right now.
What would be your Rotten Tomatoes rating?
Probably like 65%, 60%.
That high? Really?
Yeah, it's not. I mean, I'm more towards. I think the audience was at 70 when I checked last. It's closer to that. It's not maybe that good either, but it feels like a superhero movie from the early 2000s.
Okay,
it has that tone.
Okay.
Which I like those movies. I love like Blade. Even the bad Blades are still fun.
Blade was 90. I'm going to defend this. Blade was 90.
Well, I'm talking about the sequels were in the 2000s. Those were not as good as the first one. The first one's like a really good movie.
I think you could argue 2. I think 2 can hold its own.
2 maybe. Trinity.
Oh yeah, it was garbage.
I think Morbius is better than Trinity.
Okay.
So I'll say that. And people are calling this like the worst comic book hero movie. Like, have they not seen Jonah Hex? Did we all collectively forget about Green Lantern?
Jonah Hex.
Well, no. I will defend Green Lantern. I actually have fun still watching. It's not great, but I still have fun watching it.
I will rewatch.
It is a fucking piece of shit.
Did we all forget about the last Fantastic Four film? That piece of garbage.
Well,
that was major garbage. The only saving grace on that is there was stuff that was planned that was never filmed.
Yeah.
That is very cool. So you see the movie go to a point and then just stop and
wrap up. If they got the original, to film the original idea, it might have been.
I like the first 40 minutes of that film before the time skip, and that's when the changes happen. When they start working for the government, that's when
Ben Green needs pants. That's the only other thing I got to say about that movie. He needs to wear pants because I don't want to see.
Never. Show me that rocks. Show me the rocks.
Oh God.
Show me the rocks.
I just can't believe anyone goes. I have apologized for taking people to 2 movies. One of those movies was Green Lantern, and the other movie was The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. As soon as the credits rolled, I said, "I am so sorry. This is not what I've read and what I expected."
I saw Green Lantern with some friends, and they actually thought it was a fun film. They never read the comic book, so they thought it was just a fun comic book film.
Yeah, we know too much. I didn't like Parallax. That's the only thing I didn't like about that.
I'll give you.
That's it. Everything until like the training is cool. Like seeing what's his name, Sinestro, Mark Strong as Sinestro. Like I would watch that movie.
Scene. That's the end credit scene.
Well, no, but he's there.
He's the character
in the whole movie.
Yeah, but he doesn't become Sinestro.
Yeah, no, just regular Green Lantern Sinestro's in the movie.
He's always Sinestro. It's not like it takes an alias. He's Sinestro from the beginning.
When you say Sinestro, people go villain. They don't go, oh, the guy who
was
a good guy.
They're ignorant.
But they also have to realize the Lantern history has been retconned where he trained Hal Jordan, so there was a Sinestro before Yellow Lantern Sinestro.
Yeah, read a comic, anybody. Jeez.
Anyway. And Kilowog in that is barely used, and he should be training and should be in a ton of that film.
Yeah, that's true.
Green Lantern goes through that film without training, can't defeat Parallax, who's killed other Green Lanterns, and without training, he's able to defeat Parallax.
But you know what? Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively hooked up in that film, and now they've been married forever. So good for them.
I'm so glad beautiful people found each other and are happy.
Me too, because they're just gonna make more beautiful people.
You can't see it, but
anyway, Kyle, let's wrap up your stuff so we can talk about Moon Knight.
Basically read War on Earth 3, number 2, which finishes up the whole battle.
Did you read the whole event?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't know why they put versus the Flash in there, because the Flash really wasn't even. It was basically the Suicide Squad versus the Titans versus Crime Syndicate. But overall, and it basically comes down to it. Amanda Waller gets control of Earth 3, basically uses a transporter to phase out of the normal view of the multiverse, and now between members of her Suicide Squad and the Crime Syndicate has her own Justice League and is now in charge of Earth 3. To leave it.
But Ambush Bug is in it, so
no, he's not on her team. She's not at the end. He's not a part of.
No,
team.
But he's on the Suicide Squad.
Right? But there are two. There's Amanda Waller's Suicide Squad, and there's what's his name?
Rick Flag's
Suicide Squad.
Yeah, unfortunately, this guy's not there.
And
there's no Nawe. All right, and what else?
Kyle? And then I watched WrestleMania Saturday last night.
I mean, what a good show! What a fucking.
I'm gonna have to argue. There were some good moments in it, but as to other past WrestleManias, it was lackluster in a lot of areas. And I've been watching WrestleMania since 2017. This one is a lackluster WrestleMania. There's no reason why it has to be 2 nights. It should be a 1-night event.
That is weird, but I think that's just what they're gonna do now. Because
I know. Well, no, it's been 2 years since 2020. They did a 2-night event.
Well, yeah, but I mean, this is the first time they go fully back live, right?
I know. Yeah.
They split it up because of COVID, and I think now they're just going to keep it that way.
I don't know why, because that fucking place was packed. There is no way they're fucking following the. I looked at the audience. There's no way they're following the COVID restrictions. I'm gonna love to hear that. Oh, there's a COVID outbreak after WrestleMania this year, because that's the people are not wearing masks. They're like this close together.
Only Rey Mysterio is wearing a mask, and it's not even a good one.
I know. He doesn't cover his mouth. I know. Oh, that was interesting to see. Yeah. Okay. So. My things I liked. Good. Oh no. I thought I'm trying to think. The best matches were the Becky Lynch versus Bianca.
Fuck yeah.
Even though there were a lot of botched things, but I thought they were able to recoup it in a good way. Becky is my favorite female wrestler in WWE. So
me too.
Yeah. I thought the Charlotte versus Ronda could have been. I don't know. I was hoping for something different. It was good to an extent, but I think it kind of flubbered a little bit. Even though I know where they're going with it. The Cody versus Seth, I thought was really good. And it was nice to see Cody. Now I'm curious to see, because Cody left 6 years ago, left WWE because they weren't using him or not pushing any. And he got tired of them, bringing all these big wrestlers, not using anybody small. So he goes, helps forms AEW, becomes a huge star there, doesn't like it anymore, comes back, and now he gets a push in WWE. But let's see if that actually happens.
He did the thing though.
No, it doesn't matter. It's Vince. That's what Vince does with all this new talent or this indie talent. He'll push him for all 5 minutes, and he'll get thrown down because of
I'm sure he got
Reigns.
some creative control in his contract.
I hope so. I hope so, because
anyway, it was good. Overall, we'll see. Although it feels like there's nothing left for tonight.
Oh, there's plenty left for tonight. There's
other than Roman Reigns,
Edge versus AJ Styles.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
They actually have some stuff tonight, and I gotta do this. I gotta do props to this one. The Kevin Owens versus Stone Cold match was a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
Oh, yeah.
But Stone Cold actually wrestled. It wasn't just he's going to come out, give the fingers to everybody, and stun her. Like, he actually wrestled. He took a couple suplexes. He actually got out of the ring. Like, it was actually a fun kind of match. I got to give props to him.
Clay and Josh are, like, checking their email and checking Twitter. Like,
Hey, I'm trying to give you recommendations, but you don't want to listen.
Dude, it is wrestling, so it just sounds like a bunch of names. I have no idea. I've heard Becky Lynch because Daniel loves Becky Lynch. Is that right?
I heard Suplex, and I'm like, okay.
Becky Lynch has the best game phase in wrestling.
Yeah.
All right. Well, only one person can save us and take us to the main topic. So. All right. Spoilers for Moon Knight episode 1 coming up in 3, 2, 1. All right, Clay, we're gonna have to start with you because obviously I think everyone else feels differently than you do, including the rest of the world.
Okay. So the reason I'm coming at, and even Shelby says you're being really hard on the show, but there was not a single moment in the first episode that felt like it was from a Moon Knight comic at all. It didn't have the tone. I didn't feel like the only thing that I had read was that Oscar Isaacs was going to what's the character's name from, I hate that I'm forgetting this, the British show with motherfucker. I hate that I might have to. I posted this in the new.
Oh,
hold on, I might have to look this.
I'll try and find it.
Yeah, it's the Ricky Gervais show.
Jesus Christ!
Fuck.
Extras?
I don't keep up with Ricky Gervais, so I don't know.
Is it
The Office?
Extras?
An Idiot Abroad.
Oh, An Idiot Abroad. Okay.
Carl Pilkington. So
okay.
Sorry that took forever to get to Carl Pilkington, but that was Oscar Isaac's motivation was to do Carl Pilkington in Moon Knight. So what we see is Carl Pilkington, which I can't not see now, is that's who he's playing. He's not playing Stephen Grant. Stephen Grant in the comics is the reason Moon Knight is compared to Batman so much. He is a billionaire, rich playboy. It's a personality that allows him to, have all the gadgets and all the cool shit.
I agree with that.
Okay.
But I think that's the reason they changed it so much, because they didn't want people comparing that to Batman.
Right. But they went and made him Clark Kent. It was like, well, what if we don't do Batman, but we do Superman? And now Carl Pilkington looks like a Clark Kent in this whole first episode. So Stephen Grant itself is not the character from the comics at all. The tone, the voice, nothing is there. The biggest part of the comic that shows up in the show is Khonshu. And Khonshu really didn't have a strong voice until like later in the comics.
Yeah.
Can I just add a counterpoint? Because I get all of that. And again, I'm reading the original series right now. So I agree with you that like Stephen Grant kind of he's the linchpin of the Moon Knight character, because that's how he's able to have all these identities and stuff, right?
Right.
I feel like the intent of the show, though, is to play with the multiple personalities, and they could not have run with Stephen Grant that way, right?
I thought Mark Spector was the main personality.
He is.
Well, he is, and that's what they seem to be setting up, is that Mark Spector is the one doing all the stuff. Stephen Grant is like the schlub that it seems like he regresses into, right?
Okay.
I even think the reason his accent is so weird and like a dweeb is because that's not his real personality. So he's just putting on an accent.
And he's affecting an accent because he's living and working in London, right?
Exactly.
So I think they wanted to go with that. And honestly, that approach wouldn't work if the character you first see is a rich guy, because that rich guy wouldn't work as well with someone who's like, why am I waking up with my leg strapped to a column and putting tape on the door, and I can only afford a one thin fish? I mean, it's like he's got it.
Unlike the 90s, we don't really sympathize with the rich anymore.
Yeah,
that's another problem. So
yeah,
but I feel like there's a difference in the story. Part of it feels like Mark Spector died, turned his soul over to Khonshu to be resurrected, so they both coexist. Khonshu may have been using him for a while, and this is my theory about where the show's going. Stephen Grant wants to disable Khonshu in a way, so he had another personality created, and that's what Stephen Grant is. Stephen Grant is this personality that maybe he's used hypnosis or something, but he's created a personality that he can keep Khonshu, that obviously Khonshu hates because he calls him the idiot.
Yeah.
And can't do anything. So, and he doesn't know how to turn over his body to him. He only turns his body over to Mark Spector.
Yeah.
So,
and that's why he knows so much about Egyptology, right? Like he's teaching himself about that. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
That's what I feel like it's going in, getting away from the comic book. Yes, it hurts that if he's a rich guy, it's hard to sympathize with the rich. It's hard. But we do know Frenchie exists in the show because he does show up as a phone number on Mark Spector's phone. The 32nd.
Okay, wait. So is that Duchamp? Is his last name Duchamp?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, see, I just saw Marcel Duchamp, so I thought it was like a random art history joke. But okay,
that's Frenchie. That's his Alfred.
Yeah,
gotcha.
So if he's not rich and he doesn't have an Alfred, then what's Frenchie?
Josh is like, they made a joke specifically for me.
Yeah, that's what often happens. I'm like, oh, I get this joke.
But I do want to point out one thing that I noticed that have you guys ever taken a lie detector test or had to take it?
No.
Okay.
No.
So I just know this from reading and stuff. If you put, I've read that if you put like tacks in your feet while you take a lie detector test, it helps you avoid detection. And that opening scene where Harrow takes all the glass and puts it in his sandals.
Yeah.
I think that is to keep the judgment that's in him away from judging him.
Interesting. I wondered because that is the opening shot, right? And I was like, why is he doing this? And just
because the villain is bigger than the hero at this point.
Right.
That's what I feel. And the other thing is we have an unreliable narrator. That's the other problem we have, and that's kind of shitty to put in the first episode.
I don't know.
So yeah, go ahead, Josh. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say I kind of anticipated that. If you remember, I sort of I theorized that was going to be a quality, like where maybe every episode's like a different personality sort of thing, right?
Right.
I will push back against that because I love the entire sequence where he just suddenly wakes up and he's in, it looks like Switzerland. Like he's just somewhere else. Poor guy has no idea what's going on, running around getting hit, like he waves and the guy's like, what do you do? And shoot him. It's like, to me, that whole sequence worked so well because we have an unreliable narrator. So we are just as confused as he is. So,
but he's such a complex character. It's weird to choose that option in a show for a character that's, I'm going to say, B or C list.
I think I agree with you. I think they are relying on the fact that most people don't know who Moon Knight is. And evidence of that comes up, and I posted this in the news channel. I read a fascinating news article that in the opening scene where he's talking to the girl in the museum, there's a QR code on the wall. If you scan that QR code, Marvel gives you a free copy of, I believe, Werewolf by Night 32.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that is their little nod to, we know you don't know who this is. And for the fans out there who love Moon Knight, we're trying to give access to people, right?
Right.
So.
And just to, call back to what you were saying earlier. Moon Knight was always a book. I mean, like if you go buy any of the books I recommended for the first run, you get a lot of the one shots. A lot of great Moon Knight stories are just one story and done, you know, and we don't get that in the show. We don't even get a story in the first episode. We just get mass confusion. And I feel like we've had other shows that have come out like that dropped more than one episode because it helped you kind of gather more information. They should have done it with this.
That's a good point.
Again, all the violence, all the action that typically is in, you know, the pulpy action Moon Knight comic is absent from this. It's taken from us because we have to learn that this character doesn't remember anything when this other personality takes over.
So I really actually like the fact that we never, because we are following everything through Steven's eyes. Right. We never see the fights. We don't see like all the violence up until the end when he gives up to Mark. I can't see. Did you?
I'm trying to do thumbs down, but that's me right now.
I think the fact that we don't, until we move over to the other personality and we all follow along. I love that scene in the restroom when he gives up control, he turns into Moon Knight. The jackal comes through the door, and we once again we don't really see anything. We zoom out to the hallway. The sink flies just out the door, destroyed, and then we see the jackal trying to get away, and he gets dragged back in, and then we get to that sequence where we've seen that he's punching him, right? Like, I love the lack of violence in the first episode because I feel like now that we're following Mark, we may get a callback to those scenes because in the trailer they showed us when he was falling, right? But we didn't see that in this episode. We just see him wake up in the hill with like his jaw dislocated. Which, man, what a fucking trip to wake up.
I know, God. Oh, and
I'm sorry, but if you're that character with a broken jaw, you're not going to put that thing back into place. You're going to scream and run and look for help.
He could still have some supernatural stuff, even if he's not being right. Like Khonshu may be keeping him. Yeah, Khonshu may be keeping his body somehow intact. No, not fully because he's not fully in control, but at least preventing him from dying.
At this point, I think Mark may be calling the shots, and that's why he created this body, because it forces Khonshu to keep the idiot healed.
Right. I will also, I'm kind of in agreement with Daniel that I liked the fact that we didn't see a lot of the violence because I think it's clearly setting up the distinct personalities and how they react to things. I walked away from the first episode realizing that the preponderance of footage in the trailer is from that episode. So that makes me hopeful for what's coming in the next 5, right? Because there's a lot we haven't seen.
No, there's because in one of the later trailers, there's a scene where he's actually outside. You know, he's outside fighting. He's jumping off a car, doing the cape up.
Yeah, but like the main scenes, like him in the elevator with the old woman, right?
Yeah, in the town square with Harold.
Like all that stuff is featured in the trailer. So,
yep, I agree. That I think they did so much with so little of that first episode because it's like only 45 minutes.
It's like 45, 48 minutes.
People that have watched the other episode, at least the first 4 that they went for review, which feels like a weird number because you're giving them almost everything.
Yeah.
But they're all about 50 minutes each.
Okay.
Now, I talked with Adrian because he was asking me what I thought of it, and I was just like, you know, I said I didn't dig it. He loved it like you guys, but he's like, well, I see 3 distinct personalities, and I'm like, there should be 4 though.
Well, we haven't gotten Mr. Knight yet, have we?
We know Mr. Knight's in the ads. We know Moon Knight's in the ads. We know Mark Spector's the real one, and now we've just spent an episode with one of the other personalities.
There should be 5 then, shouldn't there? Then.
Well, yeah, we don't even know if Jake Lockley exists yet. He might have been written out because Jake Lockley is violent and has some tendencies that Mr. Knight, but Mr. Knight goes full throttle violence as opposed to Jake.
Save Jake for the Midnight Suns show.
So I guess I don't know much about Mr. Knight. Is he like more of a sadistic kind of guy compared to Moon Knight? Okay.
Right. You know, he suits up in all white, and it's his character that utters the line, "I want them to see me coming."
Gotcha.
He's a little Rorschach to me. Like
Makes sense.
The closest character I can compare him to, not as far as the Punisher, although I do love when they team up. Less guns, more fists.
Less guns, more
fists. Yeah, I feel like it missed on the tone of the comics. It should have given, like, my concern is that, like, the next issue or the next episode is going to be a replay of this, but seen from Mark Spector's perspective, like when he shows up, which then it's just going to be exhausting. Why didn't we just get those back to back? That would have been easier to watch.
That's true.
Plus, we're only getting 6 episodes. So if we're going to see things through one person's vision and then we have to wait another episode for this, I think that's a totally bad idea.
I would think if they do that, they do like an abridged version where we see all that in the first maybe 10 minutes. And then the next 40 minutes, we just finally move forward with the story.
So what if the next episode just opens up cold with Jake Lockley and we get some of the background and the context, and again, like the other viewpoints of certain scenes? Like, I would find fascinating if the first 3 episodes all end with that same shot of Moon Knight turning around towards the camera. Like, that's where the personalities suddenly converge. I don't know.
Yeah. And then the 4th episode is from the point of view of the goldfish.
Yes. Wait, 1 fin or 2 fin?
Well, obviously the goldfish has been replaced.
Obviously, because it's been he lost 2 days, right? He thought it was Friday, it was Sunday. We don't know what Sunday. Maybe it was even more than 2 days.
And I want to point out, in the very first scene when he steps out of the bed, there's an area under his bed that has a crease around it that looks like there's a place underneath his bed that he can go into in the same way that he was hiding his phone. And because I watched it twice, I watched it once by myself, and then I watched it with Shelby, and she goes, you realize this is going to have to last a few episodes, so you need to watch all of them. But I'm so used to picking up a Moon Knight comic and reading one story and being done that I felt like that should have been it. I feel like I could pick up a Moon Knight story and there would be action in it.
Yeah.
All the action was cut out of this. The tone of the show completely was not of any Moon Knight book I've ever read. That's why I'm hard on it, because I know they're trying to set up a show, but there's nothing. This character is not anything from the comic. We get to see Crowley. Did y'all notice Crowley was in it?
Yeah, I didn't notice it when we were looking. Like, I was watching the show, but after watching like breakdowns and Easter egg stuff,
where's Crowley?
Crowley's the statue guy that he's talking to when he's eating, and the guy's coming.
Crowley. I thought that was like Isaac Newton for some reason.
No,
so I didn't.
No, Crowley was always a homeless guy in the comics that would hang out at Gina's and give Jake Lockley all the information of what's happening on the streets. So solve crime.
No, I guess I just didn't realize that was supposed to be Crowley. Anyway, okay.
Yeah, the main characters from the original book aren't in here yet, except Crowley. Then you have Gina's diner with her kids,
right?
And
the phone call, the person who called
Layla. Yeah,
Layla's probably Marlene.
Marlene, right?
I got a question, but I'll tell you. Give me a second. The other thing I really liked is that every time I've only read the more modern Moon Knight stuff, and every time I read it, it feels like I'm starting a completely new series, because every writer just kind of does whatever they want with Moon Knight, and they don't disregard what's been in the past, but they almost kind of adapt it to their own story. Right. So going into this with the same, like, it feels the same, where I'm like, this is just a new creative team that they know the basics of who Moon Knight is, but now they're doing their own like story where you don't need to know much about Moon Knight other than, the main things, the DID and then the conscious of it all. But overall, like, every time I go into a new Moon Knight series, like, it feels new completely. Like, it feels like they've never read the other ones almost.
Well, it's like when Lemire took over. Lemire took over after Charlie Houston. Charlie Houston focused on the pulp, action, and some of the background. I mean, he took Bushman, and had Moon Knight kill him, cut his face off.
Yeah.
And it haunted him so much that Bushman appeared in the comic as this ghost without a face, constantly following him and belittling him.
Yep.
And so it gave him even more mental health problems. So that when Jeff Lemire took over, he took it in a completely opposite direction and put him in a mental hospital. Like, it's the balance of the things that are in there. And then Lemire even added the idea of Moon Knight being an actual astronaut space fighter concept that's kind of dropped in there. There's all these little pieces that are sprinkled that are never like, this is the biggest part of who he is. It's always just been about a guy with mental health problems, and the story may or may not be true.
Right.
But if you're launching a series, it better fucking be true, and it better, I don't know. It just...
Well, but I feel like what you just said is exactly what the first episode did, right? It's dealing with a guy with mental health issues, and the story may or may not be true. I mean,
But we don't know who this character is. We get Moon Knight for like the last 5 seconds.
Yeah.
There's no real action that we see. We just see this guy recovering from stuff and running constantly. It's Carl Pilkington as Moon Knight and not Stephen Graham.
I'll say this too. I think Oscar Isaac is perfect for this, because I don't think a lot of people would have stayed engaged with a show that doesn't give us as much action or any of that if it wasn't for his performance. I think he's really good at making you feel like despair, like all the stuff, like when he feels bad, you feel for the dude, right? Even just the being bullied at work, like we've all dealt with somebody like that, and Isaacs really just nails the role of like trying to deal with it and move on. But then they get all these little things like, oh yeah, he notices there's a missing god in the pantheon that they have, or like all these little details that tell you there's more there. But this,
So, question for Clay: who is Ethan Hawke's character?
He is a guy who showed up in one issue of Moon Knight in Fist of Khonshu, and that's it. Like, he's not like a nemesis. He just appeared in one book, and apparently Fist of Khonshu is the one that they're based.
His life theory.
Oh, there you go.
So you think that castle's in Transylvania, and that's the heart of the story, that Dracula has Moon Knight's money, and he just wants his fucking money
that's
back.
When we connect to Blade.
Did he actually play Dracula in Blade? Like, did I miss something?
No.
He's just
yeah, I've never seen Blade, so I don't know.
Huh?
I know. I've never seen Blade.
The first one is really good.
Some motherfuckers always trying to ice skate uphill.
You know what? We're gonna set up a Blade show in the next few months.
I will do that. I've never seen it. I had to look up the reference of Snipes appearing in What We Do in the Shadows. I mean, I knew he played Blade, but I was like, I don't really get. Oh, now I get it. So yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say you don't know about, like, in Blade 3, he hated the director so much he did a scene and kept his eyes closed, and they had to CGI his eyes opening because he was like, "Fuck you" to the director. They had to spend CGI money for his eyes to open.
Oh my God, no!
That's one of the if you find a good YouTube video on it that tracks all the fighting between Wesley Snipes and I think it was Narrington, whoever Steve Norrington did the third one. I forget whoever directed that piece of shit. But man, yeah, even Patton Oswalt had shared stories about how difficult he was to work with on set.
Snipes or the director?
Snipes just did not want to do it, didn't want to be there, didn't want to listen to anybody.
No, he wanted to fucking do Black Panther.
Yeah. He set up a studio to do Black Panther.
Wow, I didn't know any of this. This is fascinating.
But can you imagine what a Black Panther from the early aughts would have been like?
But did you guys know that Moon Knight was supposed to appear in earlier Marvel work?
I'm not surprised.
The Blade TV series. They reference a guy who was supposed to be Moon Knight, but the show got canceled after the first season, and they had planned on bringing
the Spike TV show.
The Spike TV show. They planned on bringing Mark Spector in the second season.
I mean, that makes sense because it's that whole body of comics from the 70s, right? You got Blade, Morbius, Werewolf by Night. You've got,
I remember. So off tangent a little bit, but like you're talking about shows that got canceled before you got a second season. I remember talking to John Wesley Shipp at one of the Comic Cons, and he says that like if they had done a Flash season 2, we were going to get introduced to the Justice League.
Oh,
nice.
Oh my God, the 1990 Justice League. Oh my God, I want to cast that.
It still would have been better than the other 1990 Justice League.
That pilot, movie week. Oh dear God,
I love that. It's so bad.
I want to go back and rewatch the 90s Flash. I have a soft spot for that show.
On the box set.
Yeah, me too.
Since Clay did bring that up, one of the other things I really appreciate about episode 1 is the lack of like MCU like stuff on it. Like, this feels for now, and I'm sure they'll connect more stuff in the future at some point. But for now, it's just isolated. It's on its own thing.
Yep.
It doesn't. You don't have to deal with any like continuity of 23,000 movies and all the shows. Like, you can just watch Moon Knight, and that's it.
Yeah. So
I mean, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Well, I was just gonna say. I mean, so do you feel like, because I feel like Moon Knight's the first of these upcoming series like Ms. Marvel and others that I wonder if that's intentional, because all the shows so far have been really closely tied to the events of the MCU up to that point, right?
Yeah.
So like I'm just kind of curious if this is now that next generation of MCU shows.
I mean, could be, unless you absolutely need that, event to spin off another series the way we do it in comics.
Yeah, that's true.
If you have an event, you've got to have a spin-off.
Ms. Marvel may be more connected than this, just because we know she's going to be in the Marvels movie.
They mentioned Captain Marvel. They literally mentioned Captain Marvel.
Yeah, that's true. And she's wearing that Captain Marvel costume. Yeah.
And all her reports are on superheroes.
You can't be any more tied to the MCU than that.
and I will say, though, there are things about Moon Knight I love, that I don't totally hate it, but I feel like the show in the first episode missed what the tone and feel of the comic has always been. Even when it was mental, I just felt like the lack of action and the lack of characters from the book. I understand the Stephen Grant transition. It makes a lot of sense. You don't want to play to the rich people and have this guy be a billionaire, but he is playing, to me, like a Clark Kent. And that's one of the great things, is Oscar Isaacs is so fucking good, man. I look at this guy and I go, wait a minute. He was the guy that dominated Dune. And he's only in a small section of Dune. But when I think about Dune, I think about how just that dude carries himself, who he is, even to the point where he dies. I mean, like, he's in such a fraction of that film, and he's so goddamn good. But seeing him play Carl Pilkington, it sucks, because that's all I see is Carl. It's like, I watch that show and I love Carl Pilkington.
You keep saying that name like everyone knows who that is.
I have no idea who Carl Pilkington is. So
go watch An Idiot Abroad. Go watch An Idiot Abroad. It is what it is Ricky Gervais found this guy who used to work at the XM Sirius radio station. He produced his show with Stephen Merchant. And Carl just doesn't like to do anything. He likes to stay at home. He likes to do his own thing. He eats the same thing. He likes his days to just be average. So Ricky Gervais put him on a travel show and sent him all over the world. And everything he does is he's uncomfortable. He hates it and he's miserable. And it's just Ricky laughing at him, because I'm going to pull something so you guys can see who the fuck this is. Because when you see it, you can't watch Moon Knight anymore, because you just see him doing a perfect impersonation.
Oh, God. All right.
But Oscar Isaacs is perfect. Some of the music is used well, but it's overused a bit. Like, I love the idea of the sleeping being a theme in the songs.
Yeah.
I also am very curious how long he's been putting sand around his bed, like how long this has been a problem.
Right.
And if that's it. And this is the other reason my theory is that Mark Spector set up this fake personality, is that he calls his mom and reports in. I think he's calling and leaving voicemails for Mark.
Oh, interesting.
I was going to ask you about that. Do y'all think, like, his mom's not real, right? Like, there's no mom.
I assume, because it's always a voicemail. Like, he's not actively talking to someone.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
All right. Is there any final thoughts on Moon Knight? I know we'll probably talk more about it once episode 2 comes out next week or in the next few weeks.
The actors, the two scenes they share together are so good. I mean, Ethan Hawke is just. I mean, he is Mr. Gen X man. He is fucking home run. I've never seen him play a villain, so
I haven't either. Awesome. And it's so funny because he showed up, and I mentioned to my wife and daughter that it was Ethan Hawke, and my daughter was like, "Oh yeah," and I'm like, "Well, hey, how do you know who Ethan Hawke is? What have you ever seen him?" And then my wife was like, "Wait, that's Ethan Hawke?" And I'm like, "Yeah," because I mean, he doesn't look like Ethan Hawke like we remember. He's not.
He's a
I just remembered what my daughter would have seen him in. He's in Dead Poet Society.
In Training Day. Your daughter's a big Training Day fan.
Training Day, yes. The classic Training Day.
Classic Denzel asking Ethan Hawke, do you ever get wet? Also, Josh, I'm going to tell you, this is the guy that plays Whistler on Blade.
Oh. Yeah.
And now we're going to keep it. And the first
movie
movie
this guy, that's fucking Chris Christopherson. How do you say this guy?
Yeah. Well, I didn't know his name. I didn't want to be rude. Also,
he's a legend.
The first movie stars with a blood rave. I'll leave it at that.
Wait a minute. A blood rave with Tracy Lords.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Wait. Are you trying to sell me on Fast and Furious?
No, that's Blade 1.
Blade. Oh, okay. All right. I was very confused.
Yeah, I got it. And you forget about who shows up in the third one.
I mean, Triple H, I guess. I don't know. Is that
who helps Blade out in the third film?
Ryan Reynolds.
Daryl Dixon.
Oh,
yeah. Everyone forgets that he showed up in that third film, true. But yeah.
True. All right. This has been our Moon Knight episode 1 talk. We'll keep covering the show.
I'll keep
talk
watching.
More about it. Yeah, stay tuned.
Well, the only thing I'm going to say to Clay on this one is that you got to realize none of the Marvel stuff has been close to what the comic book stuff is, whether it be MCU or.
Oh, it can't. And my example is always going to be Carol Danvers. Carol Danvers has the most fucked up history in all of Marvel. She's been retconned 10 different ways.
Yeah.
And she may be the most retconned. I'd love to hear everyone's idea of who's been the most retconned character in all of Marvel.
Drax.
I will tell you. I'll tell you the
Drax
one
has been retconned. He's from an alien planet, and there's nothing Earth connected. There's no special powers. He's just an alien from a planet who got decimated by Thanos' henchmen. I
would tell you the one that is closest to the comics, the first 2/3 of the original Iron Man.
Okay.
It's pretty spot on.
And Cap's kind of also.
Cap Cap to a certain degree. They take but I mean
he comes at
Iron Man's super close. I mean, just go read his first appearance, and it's basically just update that to like the early 2000s.
Yeah,
that's the story. I mean, and it does service to the comic. So
I mean, even the Hulk's been retconned because he didn't become the Hulk by trying to create the super soldier serum.
Yeah, check out Grand Design for all the retcons.
It's so funny to see the retcon on Hulk going from gray to green just because of a printing error. Yeah. Stuff like that is cool history.
I love it.
The last thing I'll say on Moon Knight, at the end of the credits, we do have mentions from a lot of comic creators. So I wanted to bring that up. We have Moon Knight was created by Doug Mensch and Don Perlin. And then special thanks to Doug Braithwaite, Greg Hurwitz, Jim Kruger, Jeff Lemire, Jerome Pena, Alex Ross, which I didn't know why. I need to find out why.
Yeah, that's odd.
Declan Shalvey, Bill Sienkiewicz, Greg Smallwood, Chris Warner, Alan Seligman. So maybe they're not really getting anything from the Charlie Houston or the Brian Michael Bendis stuff.
I hope not from the Brian Michael Bendis stuff. But yeah, the Charlie Houston stuff, you have to have like a base level to get to because he has to be a kind of tired and beaten old man. Or not old man, but crime fighter.
I only brought that up because maybe that'll give you more of a mind frame, Clay, of like where they may be pulling from stuff because those are the people that are being thanked. So, all right. Let's do recommendations very, very, very quickly. So we can get out of here because I do have to jet. And a matter of fact, I'll go ahead and get started. I'm going to recommend X-Men Red #1, new comic book Marvel. Somebody just asked me, is that like the Pokemon Red? And they were kidding but actually it's kind of true because X-Men Red focuses on the X-Men of the region of Araco. So if you know the Pokemon games, they focus on a specific region. So as funny as that joke was, it really kind of is like that. So they're gonna make an X-Men team in Mars, aka now Araco, led by fucking Storm, of course. So fuck yeah.
Oh, thank God, finally.
Okay,
Jesus.
hold on. Time out real quick.
I like that I said very
What
quickly,
crime are they fighting on Mars? What are they doing as a team on Mars?
It's not so much it's to protect Mars from like interstellar stuff, because Al Ewing is writing it, so he has a big cosmic Marvel always he was writing Sword, so yeah, whatever. Clay, moving on. Josh, you want to hit us with yours?
Yeah. So I was at the game store with my daughter a couple of weeks ago, and I would not have seen this. She saw it and she's like, "Hey, Dad, look!" And it was an immediate buy for me. A board game called The Rocketeer.
Oh, holy shit!
Nice.
And now I'm going to preface this by saying I have not played the game yet. So from a game perspective, I don't know how it plays, but just the design of this is just beautiful. It comes with, just to point out a few things, it comes with, there's the man, right?
Oh, hey now.
There is Lothar. It's got all the characters from the movie in it. It even comes with a Zeppelin.
Nice.
It is a beautifully packaged game, and the crazy thing is, it retails for $25.
Really?
Yeah,
wow, that is cheap.
So go to a game store, pick it up. Absolutely, just really, really beautifully designed. It's a Funko game, and just an immediate buy for me.
It looks cool.
It looks pretty cool. It looks like a racing game, but it has a lot of features to it that sort of like throw stuff in. So one player plays the good guys, one player plays the bad guys, right? And you're kind of racing towards the Zeppelin. So it kind of mimics the plot of the movie.
Okay.
You're racing to punch a Nazi.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Cool.
Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself is what you say if you play the Nazis.
Yeah.
But anyway.
All right. Clay, have you collected yourself?
Yes. I'm not going to beat up your recommendation. I just, you know how I get the same way Kyle gets about X-Men. I get a little more verbal though. There's my X-Men Red #1. All right. I just watched Jackass Forever, and like I said earlier, it's just a fun movie to put on. I laughed the entire film. Like, I just love seeing those guys hang out as friends, coming up with dumb stunts. And now that most of them are like sober and clean, they're very terrified every time a stunt happens. So you see more fear in their eyes because that just kind of cracks me up. Steve-O, at this point, I've been watching his podcast. He's clean and sober, trying to make better of himself. He does a stunt with some bees, and I thought he was going to cry. He just looked like he was in the worst place in the world, and he was just shaking and scared. So, but I laughed. You know, that's the whole bit of the show, and it was worth the Paramount free trial for it.
I mean, it really is. It's less than a rental for a movie, right?
Yeah. Even for a subscription, it's $5.
Yep.
I'm going to reach out to you, Clay, because I think I just realized that I have an Xbox perk for like 1 month or 3 months of Paramount Plus, and I'll just send the code to you because I've already paid for a year. So.
Oh, cool. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Of course.
Kyle, you got anything for us?
Yeah, this is my recommendation. I was trying to figure out. I didn't really have one, but I can't remember if I recommended this one a couple episodes back. Have any of you guys seen Turning Red?
No, I want to. Is it good?
It's amazing. I love it. It is. Domi Shi is the director. She originally did the short Bow from Pixar. It is a lot of fun. It's set in the I can't remember exactly, late 90s, early aughts, because the main character, her and her friends are all big fans of this boy band. So it's like NSYNC. You know, it definitely is period based, but you know, the fact when you start to hit when you start to hit puberty, like certain emotions will change you. Her family has this thing of their ancestor basically made connections to become a gigantic red panda to save her village from bandits and thieves and stuff like that. So now the lineage goes down. Anytime you hit you're about to become a woman, certain emotions will cause you to become a gigantic panda. And it's just I mean, and people can say, well, this is an Asian film. Like, who cares? I mean, Enchanto it was about, it's Pixar. We're going to get so many different, ethnicities. So it's just a fun film. And don't make it about a cultural kind of BS.
It's for kids.
Exactly. And adults. And if you're a fan of animation, it's for both. That's where I'm going to go. It's Pixar doing another great story, in my opinion. And I love it because I was listening to the director on a podcast, and they were saying, did you happen to watch anime growing up? It's like, yeah, I was a huge fan of Ranma 1/2, and you realize, well, yep, Red Panda, Giant Panda, Ranma's dad makes a lot of sense in this whole situation.
Cool.
Makes sense.
Yeah, but I totally recommend it.
Cool.
I am glad to hear that, because that's the first was Ranma half.
I do have a clip from Jackass.
Uh-oh. Oh, God.
I'm going to tell you, that's not where they put the bees.
That's, wow.
Oh, boy. Well, we had to play this today.
I'd sure like to fist him.
I need to record a Mephisto him over that. Over the voice.
You get a Mephisto animation?
That's right.
No, what we need is we just need to redub his voice with Josh's voice.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks, everyone. Stay tuned to the channel. We have a bunch of comic reviews coming out this week. I've already read a bunch of them. Really good stuff coming up. Also, stay tuned for my more views, non-spoiler and maybe spoiler review. Maybe I'll do both. We'll see. And then we'll have more stuff in the channel. Thanks to everybody that recently subscribed. We got a bunch of subscribers this week because of that Sonic video. So I guess now I'm obligated to go watch the Sonic movie and do a review for all the new people. So this was a lot of fun. You guys have anything else before I click on the outro?
No.
Good. Great. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Let's get out of
Let's
here.
ride.
Thanks, everyone, for watching.
Little loves you.
Oh, yeah. Clay?
Hell, Bebo.
Josh?
Simon Center, get the fuck out.